Hi, this is Dr. Parthenia Grande with my in-depth analysis of the symbols and hidden meanings in Ariana Grande's new video, God is a Woman. Let's just start with the title of the video. I, for one, became an instant fan based on the title alone, followed by respect after watching her video. Ariana's courage, insights, and creativity in taking on such a controversial topic was beyond impressive. The very topic was considered too hot to handle a couple of decades ago when I wrote my dissertation on patriarchy's fear of female sexuality as a motive for systematically eradicating worship of the goddess. The overwhelming success of this video proves that nothing can stop an idea whose time has finally come. I watched the video on the day it was released and felt an overwhelming sense of relief that set aside my worries about the world still not being ready to embrace the possibility that God is a woman. Moreover, the similarity between the title of my book, God Was Always a Woman and Still Is, to be released in the fall of 2018, and the title of her video, God is a Woman, compelled me to share hidden meanings that I discovered in many of the symbols embedded in her video, which I've already expanded upon in my book. The numbers indicate that Ariana's message resonates with a huge segment of society. Granted, religious fanatics and defenders of the status quo who are labeling the video blasphemous tend to be misogynist, including women who hate other women. Misogyny is defined as, quote, dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against women, unquote. In the opening scene, Ariana is standing on top of the world in the middle of the Milky Way, undulating in sync with the movements of the galaxy, reenacting the lovemaking that gave birth to the universe through a process called parthenogenesis, defined as, quote, reproduction from an ovum without fertilization. Male scientists label this the Big Bang Theory. Women, however, still possess parthenogenesis power as proven through spontaneous tubular pregnancies. Men cannot give birth to life nor create it. They can only fertilize it, copy it, or clone it. Thus, the concept of God being a woman is closer to the truth of the creation story than God being a man. Man was created to be a builder and to participate in fertilizing life to further human evolution, not to destroy life, enslave it, or contain it. Envy over the fact that women are the creators of life led to patriarchal males waging genocide against women after cloning was perfected in ancient civilizations. Ample archaeological evidence prove cloning existed, was lost, and later was rediscovered. Thus, women do not suffer from penis envy as Freud claims. No, women suffer from penis misery created by misogynistic males wielding their penises like swords to rape and wage war. The originality of the image in the video depicting the female anatomy associated with fertility and orgasm is fluid and eye-catching. Here, Ariana is lying in a languid sideways pose inside an open vagina painted with liquid pastel colors of floating paint. Clever splashes of color cover just enough of her breast to set aside complaints from the hypocritical status quo who cannot tolerate female nudity unless it's pornographic. When the camera pulls back, we get a bird's eye view of Ariana cleverly positioned to resemble a clitoris right in the middle of an open, pastel-colored labia. The provocative nature of this image sits in direct defiance of the myth that female sexuality is somehow dirty, ugly, or shameful. It also artfully challenges the fear of female sexuality and the objectification of the female body. Speaking of haters, we see itty-bitty men throwing demeaning slurs at Ariana that they grab right out of the book of patriarchy, no doubt. Patriarchy is described as, quote, a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it, unquote. The diminutive size of the men assaulting an Amazonian-sized Ariana as she sits serenely on a giant throne in the pose of The Thinker by Rodin make the gang of little men look petty. It is clear in her poetic pose that Ariana is beyond the eye for an eye mentality that leaves the whole world blind. The little men bullying Ariana are a relic of the drama of the old age of Pisces. One of the lessons Christ came to teach during that age was respect for the divine feminine. Unfortunately, patriarchy murdered him before that lesson could be embodied. As the Prince of Peace, the murder of Christ prevented him from bringing peace to the world, which remains at war without end. Thus, the new age is in desperate need of a female avatar who can fulfill the promise of Christ that, quote, these things I do, even greater things you will do, unquote. In this video, Ariana appears to be the one to fulfill his promise. Here, Ariana appears to be sensually soothing a Category 5 hurricane with her middle fingers while sitting spread eagle on top of the earth. The calming motions of her middle fingers made me think that Marvin Gaye just might have been onto something with his song, Sexual Healing. The indigenous Koji of South America believe that all natural disasters are created from the perversion of sexual energy and from sexual abuse. My initial reaction to the gophers or groundhogs was, what the fuck? I was completely thrown off, so it took a third time for me to get past my initial surprise and laughter to connect that the poor groundhog's piercing shrieks of distress and look of sheer panic present a disturbing picture of the devastating impact that the abuse and excesses of patriarchy have on animal habitats. It's clear in the eyes of the groundhogs that the only future they see on their horizon is imminent extinction. The little purple flowers scattered amidst the parched desert stand as a testament to the powers the goddess possesses to rejuvenate life and to heal the damage done by patriarchy's flagrant disregard of all things feminine. The earth is, after all, a woman. Ariana, in her persona as the cosmic mother, descends down the mountain with the ability to replicate herself into smaller versions of herself, which in actuality is what happened during the creation of humanity. As she sashays down the mountain, new life springs forth with each step. This scene reminded me of Oprah's announcement in her Golden Globe Award speech about patriarchy's day being over, that a new day was dawning. That appears to be the case in this scene, with Ariana acting out a new creation story involving transformation and instantaneous healing of the damage patriarchy has done to the planet. Ariana is sitting in a peaceful yoga pose like a female Buddha with her hands in the mudra of a Vesica Pisces as she glides across the universe, riding safely inside of her light body, also known as a Merkaba, which is created out of sacred geometry. The shattering of that glass dome symbolically brings down with it all belief systems and behaviors no longer compatible with the golden age of Aquarius. The divine feminine has officially arrived to blaze a path to peace and prosperity for all through tough love that will not tolerate anything out of alignment with the law of nature. The screen in this scene is dominated by two alluring thighs spread wide open wearing sexy stilettos while seated on an invisible throne. The goddess can only be seen partially due to the blinding heavenly light streaming between her legs, concealing the prize between her thighs from prurient eyes. After all, only the pure of heart can see the goddess. The open thighs are intended to confront old beliefs that degrade the female form, beliefs that insult the soul, and beliefs that build walls between men and women, individuals and nations. The implied message to all is that the way to heal the soul damage done through sexual exploitation and through copulation without connection is by honoring the sacredness of sex. The connotation for men, however, is that they are missing out big time on mind-blowing cosmic orgasms by being afraid to enter into a sacred union with the divine feminine. This is a beautiful remake of the famous painting by Michelangelo in the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, but with a twist. A female of color is reaching out to receive the divine spark of life being bestowed not by a male creator God, but by Arianna, portrayed as God. Note that the number of women on the right side add up to 9, the number of completion, which is also the number of the cosmic mother. It is also the number of the 9 divas of crystalline fire bestowed by the great cosmic mother with the mother's ability to create life and universes. It seems fitting that the video should end with a rewriting of the creation story depicting the creator as a woman and her first human creation as a female of color. After all human life begins in the womb of a female as a female fetus. The embryo does not differentiate into a male until around the 4th month. No man has ever given birth to anything.